Hey, welcome in everybody. Hope you all can hear me just fine on another live edition of the H Town Huddle. It's playoff time, baby. Playoff week. We're doing it live and we're ready to rock and roll. So appreciate everybody for joining me this week. We're going to break it down. We're going to hit some betting stuff. We're going to do all the good things that we normally do here on the show. But first, we're going to kick it off with our basic regular H Town Huddle intro. Appreciate everybody for being with me this week.
I'm Texas forever.
All these structures make me anxious. Look, I'm just trying to you, not them hoes you came with. Pull up on 6 so loud and banging. Yeah, Texas forever, still twisting my fingers. Texas forever, you speaking my language. Look, all in the day, but for Wednesday. Out in the field trying to school me a deal. Put my name by that X like I'm Kimbe. I do it off of my team, just a young covered in green like I'm Dende. We ain't compadres comprende. Clutch city, crush city, whatever you call it. I stay with my friends, stay hands in, never hand out. Look, I had to go get it, my everybody say I'm the man now. Wrist moving in and out the kitchen. My might pull up on 6 in the whip, whipping it. I'm just a young getting it. All I had was the pot I was pissing in. Now everybody want pieces, percentages. I'm just trying to get my niggas over. I did the work that they won't. All this money, cash, cars, clothes, hoes. Coming in fast, but I'm sipping slow. This is Texas forever. You already know. It's spoiled out and
Texas forever.
Perfect timing, everybody. Appreciate y'all once again for being here. Like I said, we're in the playoffs. Regular season is over. It's time to get busy. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the menu Monday night, happening late Monday. Here is that graphic. Wildcard preview, playoff preview. It's going to be a wild one. This is the last game of the weekend. We're going to get to watch all the other football happen before this happens. Really stoked, but can't wait, obviously. So let's get into it here. Let's go ahead and do that. So once again, welcome in. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe button. Giving my fellow colleagues a follow at the GWN Network. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going live on Tuesdays, Fridays, doing all the live watch parties, various other shows happening throughout the week. So we're coming at you with all the goodness. So make sure you guys are hitting that up, staying up to date and relevant with everything that we are doing out here with the GWN Fantasy Football. We got playoff drafts happening on the weekends. They just finished wrapping up a couple of drafts right now. So we're ready for the second part of this season, well into the off season. Going to get you guys hooked up with all those fantasy championships. Got a lot of my brothers out there who got the title, brought that home. And it's no coincidence because we're doing it all together. We're out here talking these fantasy isms. So like I said, appreciate y'all for rocking with it, rocking with the show. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and let's get it. All right, so jumping right into it, baby. Jumping right into it. Welcome back, H Town Huddle, home of Texans talk, real analysis, real energy, baby. Today we're breaking down the Texans versus Steelers wildcard matchup, and let me tell you, the numbers, the film, the betting markets, all point to one thing. Houston is walking into this game with the momentum, the swagger, and the statistical edge to pull off the victory. So let's take a look at the matchup overlay real quick. We'll start with the basics, the tail of the tape. Houston Texans, 12-5 record. 9-game winning streak that they're riding coming into this one. 23.8 points per game, which is a little higher than I kind of expected, and 327 yards per game as well. On the other side of the ball, the Steelers riding a 10-7 record. They're AFC North champs. We saw that happen with a swing of the leg, a move of the football, looked like it was video game controlled, took a random hook, but here they are. Baltimore Ravens missed the kick. Harbaugh's fired. Steelers are in. Tomlin continues his run. AFC North champs. They're averaging 23.4 points a game and 305.6 yards a game as well. So interesting matchup. Offenses are both kind of a little sluggish, 23 points per game roughly. Nothing to go, running home and tell mom about or anything like that. But these teams built to play tough football in this type of weather. Speaking of, Texans will be traveling up there. It's going to be in Pittsburgh outdoors. They will be wearing the white uniforms that you see right there on the screen. There's Mr. Will Anderson, who should be a key factor in this game. We'll get into that here momentarily a little bit more. But yeah, they're going to be iced out for this game. Should be pretty good to witness. I don't know what Steelers are wearing. My guess is they're going to be wearing the dark tops, dark jerseys for this particular matchup. It only makes sense if the Texans are going to be iced out. So, side by side, you're looking at those teams on offense, kind of similar. But let's talk about the guy that everybody, I think, is really watching in this matchup, and that's going to be CJ Stroud. Everybody likes to talk about him. It's his third playoff trip, 3 years in a row with the same head coach, putting up another 10-plus win season, and yet the talk about CJ Stroud is, can he do it? Is he ready to rock and roll? The offense looks horrible. Let's fire the offensive coordinator. They're not scoring enough points. They're being carried by their defense. Hey, CJ, statistically, not a bad season. Let's talk about the PFF backed strengths from CJ Stroud, right? So we're going to talk about CJ Stroud versus the Steelers defense first, and then we'll go on to the rest. But Stroud's been everything for the Texans and a little bit more. He has elite clean pocket efficiency, one of the lowest turnover-worthy play rates in the entire NFL. So he's very careful with the football. I know last time we were talking, we saw that game versus the Chargers. He's a little careless there towards the end of the second half. I think after they had a lead, he was kind of just letting things fly. We saw how they mixed things up in zone, and they kind of confused them a little bit there. Still made it the offense a little bit, but able to muster up some points and some yards in that second half and end up getting the win versus the Chargers. But they started off really hot, and CJ has the capability to turn on that button. The thing is consistency. Can he do it for a whole 4 quarters? And I don't think we've seen it this year. You probably have to go back to maybe his rookie season when we kind of saw that happen a lot more consistently. But looking to this weekend and all that stuff, CJ Stroud still putting up great numbers, still pretty good statistically. If you look at him in the intermediate accuracy, middle of the field, just nothing super deep, nothing checked down. He's really good. His season stats in that area: 3,041 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 64.5 completion rating. So CJ Stroud's no pushover. There's a reason why, he's been able to mitigate mistakes. Talk about the 8 interceptions to the 19 TDs. The 2-to-1 ratio is really good in the favor of the touchdown. So that's what you like to see, especially with a team with a defense that's so elite and leading you in that way. If you can just take care of the football and put up some points here when expected, then the wins are going to come. And that's why we've seen the Texans with a 9-game win streak. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's defense, they bring something that's more they've been built to disrupt quarterbacks. That's the way that this defense has been put together. They have 48 sacks, that's 6th in the NFL, 15 interceptions, and they're plus 12 turnovers differential rate. So really good defensive unit there for Pittsburgh. We saw what they were able to do versus Baltimore last week in that island game for the NFC North Championship. So it is what it is there. Shout out to my brother Lee. Appreciate you for tuning in, Lee. Yeah, guys, you got things you want to mention, stuff you want to throw out there in the chat. Make sure you're doing that. I also forgot to mention, make sure you're stopping on over at neonpeacockmerch.com. I have this shirt from, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Has Tank Dell on it. Still great condition. Wash it, throw it in the dryer, put it on. Fits like a glove still. So make sure you're getting all your merch at neonpeacockmerch.com. Go ahead and check that stuff out. Got lots of new things out there on the website for you guys. So appreciate that as well. Appreciate you too, Lee. Back at it. Where were we? Yeah, we were talking Steelers defense, as a matter of fact. So like I mentioned, the Steelers defense, 47, wait, did I read the right part? I'm sorry, yeah. 48 sacks, 6 in the NFL, 15 interceptions, plus 12 in the turnover differential. But the Texans defense, they've been even better than people realize. Now, the Texans defense has quietly become one of the most dangerous units in the entire league. And their stats are nothing to be scoffed at. Do I have any graphics I can throw up there for you guys to look at while I'm talking about the Texans defense real quick? Let's see. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's look at the splash rate right there. And this is a player's ability to kind of wreak havoc and go in there and disrupt some defenses. And, in the top several players, you have 2 defensive players for the Texans, elite defensive pass rushers in Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, of course. And then you have quotes from Jalen Petrie about the Texans defense just being one of the greatest. It says, God is great, or is the greatest, but the Texans defense is maybe second. Killer quote right there from a man and a team that loves to push their faith in God as well. So Lots of good stuff happening with the Houston Texans defense. We'll get to Will Anderson in a bit, but there's another graphic for you as far as his disruption rate and things that he can do. Just a quick brief preview mention. We've had some defensive players of the week and then some special teamers. This is the 3 straight weeks of Texans having AFC players of the week. So that's just to show you that they're humming on in different facets of the game, not just the defense, but special teams as well. And then we see the offense kind of, doing enough to carry them to victory. And talking about that, the offense, there's 28 wins for CJ Stroud in his first 3 seasons. I think that puts him at number 2 behind John Elway on that list. So very impressive stuff from CJ Stroud. I know people want to talk down about him all the time and can he play? And he's the reason the Texans aren't good. Well, he's probably better than your team's quarterback, most likely. All right. So let's stop with the CJ hate. All right. Let's kind of put that on the back burner. Let's see if and he's been great in the playoffs. So let's see if he can continue that. Right. But on the flip side, Texans defense, what we're talking about, their defensive stats: 47 sacks. That's just one less than one less than Pittsburgh, but 19 interceptions. That's 3rd in the NFL, and they're plus 17 in the turnover differential. That's 2nd in the NFL. And Pittsburgh, their offense likes to lean on Aaron Rodgers, who has 3,322 passing yards, 24 TDs, and 7 interceptions this season, which terrific numbers. But we know that Rodgers does that. He does that basically every year. He puts up gaudy TD number, well, not gaudy, but decent TD numbers and low turnover rates. His numbers are pretty much on par with CJ Stroud this year. Like I said, nothing to go crying home to mom about these offenses, but good enough to win you some football games when it counts. Jaylen Warren, though, on the other hand, 958 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4.5 yards per carry. So we'll see how he stacks up versus the Texans defense. I know that I mentioned it on one of the lives the other day. Lee was asking me who I wanted to face when the Steelers were playing the Ravens, and I said that the Pittsburgh's matchup is a little trickier, I think, for Houston Texans defense because they got 2 running backs that they can use, one that's really good in the passing game, and that's kind of been a bugaboo for the Texans defense, that and mobile quarterbacks. We don't have that with Aaron Rodgers, which I kind of favored in this matchup and was, leaning towards. But at the same time, the explosive receivers, Aaron Rodgers being a better pocket passer than Lamar Jackson, being able to spread the football around, getting DK Metcalf back, and then the ability of the 2 running backs out of the backfield. That always scares me with the Texans defense. We saw Seattle be able to do it with 2 running back system, had them kind of scratching their head, not knowing if it's a pass or run. And if you can get the Texans second guessing themselves instead of running sideline to sideline reacting, then you're in business on offense. So that kind of scares me a little bit. Jaylen Warren, something to watch, and he's in my best bets section coming up. So, keep it locked in and tuned in if you guys like to put those, place those wagers on those fantasy sites. So, leaning right into it, here we go. Let's talk that money because Vegas has spoken on this, and this is according to DraftKings. It's a DraftKings kind of style lineup. So the current lines from the aggregated sports books, the ones that kind of looked at 2 or 3, put them together. These are the numbers that came out. So we have the Texans -3, and that's the current line right now. The point total 39.5, and then the money line is Texans -170, Steelers +140. And like I said, that's aggregated, so don't go look at a website and say, "Oh, you're wrong." I kind of just did the math and crunched all 3 sites together just to kind of, give you a general betting style, by these 3 different websites. So you can just kind of see where everybody stands on this game. The model projections, Stats Insider has Texans with a 63% win probability, so that's really good for them. I feel really good about this game going into this game, as opposed to like almost all the games in the last 9 weeks. I've had the Texans by like 3 points or so, give or take, every single week. But I have a lot more confidence. I don't know what it is about the Steelers, maybe the fact that they've lost their last 6 first-round playoff games or something to that effect. Tomlin is really good on Monday night. I know that the Texans haven't had a Monday night playoff game. Actually, they never had a playoff game outside of an early Saturday window in their entire history of the Houston Texans. So this is something new for them, playing on a Monday night, late primetime wildcard weekend. Hopefully that doesn't throw them off. Hopefully it just gives them more time to prepare. They're ready and more hyped. This last game that they played to close out the season seems like it was a lull, not a lot of hype, but they were able to pull off the victory and still reach deep down in their bag, pause, and pull out the win. So Sports Grid does have the Texans by 6 points and a 69% win probability. But the best bet here, like I said, Texans -3. So that's typically where I do like to bet this. These games are slugfests. They typically are a little closer than what Vegas suggests, even when one team is favored. Remember, the Texans are on the road, so I would probably throw another +3 on the Pittsburgh side, just if you're looking at total scores. The under 39.5. Both teams rank in the top 10 in sacks and turnovers. So this low, less than 40-point total is extremely justified. All right, so we're not going to go out there and probably witness a barn burner. I think if that ends up happening, the Texans probably wouldn't be able to keep up, right? They're a defensive-minded team, but both these teams pretty similar. Another good bet here, we have CJ Stroud, 232.5 passing yards. I do have the over on that. Steelers allow big chunk plays. The reasoning for that is because the Steelers allow big chunk plays, and Stroud kind of seems to thrive under pressure. Every time it's like 3rd and 17 or 3rd and super long, he ends up making a big time, precise, high pressure throw, and they end up picking up a first down. I don't know how he does it. It's horrible to watch if you're a Texans fan. Heart rate's going up and down, but he pulls it off, and he does thrive under pressure in those high pressure situations. So ever since the Steelers moved Jalen Ramsey to try to help solidify the back end of their safety positioning over there, they've just been giving up big plays. So I don't really know what that's about. Ramsey, I did see him this last game as well, kind of like looking around, looking for help. Zay Flowers completely ate versus them in this last game. So hopefully Nico Collins, coming off that rest game, didn't play this last week, gave the younger guys a chance to kind of bolster their stats and their play snaps. Guys like Higgins and Knoll, things of that nature. Christian Kirk's still kind of just been a bit player here and there. Don't know if he returns next season, but we'll get there when we get there, right? But yeah, going back to it, Jaylen Warren, I think I saw Bogey here in the chat saying big Woody Marks a game this week. Pause. We'll see. But I'm expecting something a little bit more from Jaylen Warren, to be honest. Going back to my notes here. Jaylen Warren, anytime TD from Sports Grid projection was 0.7 TD probability. That's almost a 1. That's like almost a hit. So Jaylen Warren, the touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the points coming for the Pittsburgh Steelers via Jaylen Warren, pretty good bet on that. So check that on your betting lines, on your betting sites if you guys are doing anything like that. Disclaimer, I'm not telling anybody to go bet on any particular site or throw their money. If you have a gambling problem, please seek help. I'm not a professional sports guy or anything. I'm just throwing numbers out there for you to do that what you will. But yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, folks. Here we go, H Town. It's time for the fun part. So let's put the numbers aside. Just wipe those away, all those things, those little breakdowns that I gave you, and let's talk about what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to give you 5 bold predictions to give you quick reasoning for it, and hopefully I can clip that, and use these for the shorts throughout the weekend. You guys go ahead and make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share those with your Pittsburgh or Texans fans and see if they agree or disagree with me on those particular takes. But here we go. Bold predictions. Bold prediction number one. CJ Stroud throws for 275 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. I know, Super Bowl. They're bold. The predictions are bold here. And here's why. Pittsburgh defense, it's aggressive. But I mentioned it before, they give up chunk plays. We saw that last week. I think Zay Flowers had like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns by himself. Versus, the Ravens were kind of struggling, had fallen off the bus a little bit for most of the season, back and forth, but that offense was still able to do it versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So very encouraging for folks like Nico Collins in this matchup, or, Jalen Knoll or Jaden Higgins, whoever can get behind defensive players for the Pittsburgh secondary, right? And I mentioned that also earlier, the other reason, Stroud is elite versus pressure. So if Pittsburgh wants to go ahead and try to bring that extra pressure, they give them an extra second. The running back chips, offensive line does a decent job picking it up. Boom, we got a bomb down the field and a good chance at making a play or picking up a flag. So those big chunk plays is why I'm so bullish on CJ Stroud having 275 plus passing yards and 2 TDs. I think he's due. He's done really great in the playoffs. Nick Wright came out in a segment a while back saying that CJ Stroud his numbers were inflated in the playoffs because of his rookie year. He had like 1 opening great playoff game or something like that. But if you take it all cumulatively and you throw out that first game, he still has like 700 passing yards and several TDs and a 60-something percent completion rating and like a 90% rate. So Nick Wright has no idea what he's talking about. Nick Wrong. But I think he's just a CJ Stroud hater. But, it is what it is. I just want to remind everybody, CJ Stroud's still pretty damn good at football. I mean, another 11-win season. He had 10 at least the last 2 years before that. He has a good playoff record. This would be the third time in a row that he's in the playoffs. So taking a lot of the rookies there. With Texans are a young team too. A couple of years before they did the whole rebuild, one of the oldest teams in the NFL, now one of the younger ones. Lots of not a lot of playoff experience, but if you look at the young players that have been there, several of these guys are already going into their third time, in postseason. So bold prediction number 2. Clip all that other stuff. Nico Collins, and this goes hand in hand with the first part. Nico Collins goes over 100 yards, and we saw Zay Flowers do that last week with the Ravens, which isn't really known for being a bolsterous passing attack, right? So CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans tend to lean on the passing game a little bit more than the run. And here's the reason behind or backing up the bold prediction number 2, Nico Collins going over 100 yards. Joey Porter Jr. is having a great season, but Collins has route win advantage. He matches up on the line of scrimmage. You guard him. You can't stop the slant. You can't stop the deep in breaking route. And then when you're worried about that stuff, he beats you on the go over the top on a blown coverage. So I really like the aggressiveness, the physical attributes of Nico Collins, 6'4", 215, 220 pounds. And you have his twin on the other end, Jaden Higgins, you got to worry about. So Joey Porter Jr., good luck. But Houston schemes him open early in offense, so be on the lookout for Nico Collins, grabbing a bunch of balls, pause early in the first couple of drives, and setting things up to open up the running game and some of the other receivers for the Houston Texans. Clip that. Bold prediction number 3. Texans defense forces 2 turnovers. Count them, 1, 2, dose. Houston is top 3 in the NFL in interceptions and turnover differential. And we know that Aaron Rodgers has struggled this season when pressured up the middle. So this defense is going to be built to capitalize. We're going to see the front 4 put a lot of pressure. Edge rushers, nightmare fuel, Will Anderson Jr. and my guy Danielle Hunter off the edge, funneling things up the middle for guys like Danico Autry and all the other DTs in there, Mario Edwards, whoever it may be. Actually, Mario Edwards probably comes off and plays on the edge, but my guy Tommy Togiai or whoever it may be playing defensive tackle, they'll funnel that in. We can maybe get a sack, get some pressure up the middle, force a turnover. The things that the Texans like to do, especially with that front 4, they rush as a team, they rush as a unit. They keep contained really well. You can't run outside zone on them. You can't run up the middle. As soon as you step up in the pocket for pressure, you're being sacked. You run backwards. You're losing yards like Josh Allen. So it's going to be interesting to see if Aaron Rodgers can get the ball out quickly. My guess is they're going to try to look for those running backs in the flats quick, which, a team that's aggressive like the Houston Texans can be susceptible to those areas. Pass-catching running backs versus good, quick Houston Texans defensive players, always been a struggle for them. And that's just been historically, right? Not even before the DeMeco Ryans era, when we had guys like Dion Lewis and whoever Tom Brady was checking it down to, tearing us up every time, and we just needed to beat the Patriots to advance in the playoffs. So had flashbacks right there. Sorry. Damn it, Will Fuller just catch that bomb in the end zone and we're beating them. Anyway, I don't even remember what year that was. 17? I don't know. Who knows? Patriots in the playoffs again this year. I hate to see that. At least the Ravens are out, folks, and we're playing the Steelers instead of the Ravens. I think if we were playing the Ravens, I'd be much more worried about the matchup, even though probably less to be worried about, honestly. You just got to stop the run with Derrick Henry instead of both running backs, right? Zay Flowers, you focusing on over here. It's kind of like Rodgers spreading the ball around. Arthur Smith, he doesn't even know what he's doing, so what's the Texans defense going to know what they're doing? So they just need to play within themselves, keep their technique, right? Know what they're doing, communicate. We saw some defensive communication breakdowns with some of the other safeties they were trying to play in the absence of our guy Jalen Reed, the rookie, who has come back from the IR and will most likely start. And there's the injury report. Sorry. But yeah, he's been activated off the IR. He should be good to go. Kamari Lassiter didn't practice the other day, but he expects to be full participant, just resting his knee. So I expect the Texans defense to be a full go. Azeez Al-Shire being out there, green dot, ready to rock and roll. We already talked about Jalen Petrie being an X factor, saying that the Texans defense probably the second greatest thing to God. So And on God, let's see if they can just pull this off, man, and get that third playoff win, CJ Stroud's career, get to that next level, and then that all-important game versus whoever it may be to get to where the Texans have never been before in an AFC championship game. So there it is, folks. Sorry for being so nerdy about the whole situation. That's where we come from. That's what we do here. We give you the analytics, we give you the PFF breakdown, and then I kind of give you what I like to do. But I got a couple more bold predictions before we go. Let me take Davis Mills off the screen. I know that homie was asking about Woody Marks. We'll get to him. I promise. But continuing on, bold prediction this is number 4, number 3. Number three was the 2 turnovers by the Houston Texans defense. So number 4, Will Anderson Jr., and this probably goes hand in hand with the defense. 1.5 sacks this game. Pittsburgh offensive line has been inconsistent in pass protection. Will Anderson Jr.'s motor and his playoff energy equals a breakout performance. He is, like you saw earlier on that splash play percentages, he is just elite. Nobody else even comes close in a lot of those categories. His win rate, he has a full arsenal. He compared himself to a pitcher in baseball. And when he first came out, he just had, he was a closer. He just came out and he had the fastball. And he was just beating you with that with a speed rush. But now he has a little bit of finesse. He put in the spin move, the changeup, the curveball. And now he says that he has a full arsenal of pitches when he's back there rushing the passer. So I have all the most confidence in Will Anderson Jr. with the playoff energy, with his motor, having a breakout performance. Week 1 wild card weekend versus Aaron Rodgers, getting 1.5 sacks this Monday night. Clip that. Here we go. Bold prediction number 5. Last prediction. And this one, super bold because it's a rarity that this has happened, but it has happened. Happened versus the Chargers. Happened last week as well. So bold prediction number 5. Texans will lead this game wire to wire. No trailing. No comeback needed to pull this one off. Late second field goal fiascos, whatever. Houston's going to set the tone from the beginning. Opening drive, and they're never going to get it back. They're going to set the tone, maybe not cruise, maybe go back and forth, answer for answer, but they should have a cushion to have a nice lead, wire to wire, and win this football game. Boldest prediction I've probably ever done. All of my predictions have been Texans squeak out a win by 3 points. Super close, blah, blah, blah. I feel like this matchup, they should come in there in Pittsburgh Monday night and handle their business. So, clip that. All right. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. I know it. Here it is. Drum roll. Final score prediction based on all the analytics, the matchups, the betting markets, and the momentum. That's a big one, the momentum. Final score, Texans 23, Steelers 16. I was going to say 19. Kind of pull it in a little bit, give them that 6-point cushion that the betting lines are like, but this is why this score fits. The total of lines were the 39.5-point over-under. Had I given the Steelers an extra 3 points or taken 3 from the Texans, it could have made it work. But in order for the Texans to win, they got to hit 20, and their opponent needs to score less than 20. So 23-19 would have pushed us over the over. They haven't really done that much this season. A lot of the stuff has been hitting the under and in the Texans' favor. So 23-16, Houston Texans on top. 39.5-point over under. That it's going to align with that right there. The Texans have the more efficient offense. The defense is top 3 in turnovers. Pittsburgh struggles to finish drives. I know that Houston Texans struggle in the red zone, but they've been able to at least come away with points with Kenny Fairbairn, which is why I'm giving them 23 instead of 26 or 29. Taking a couple touchdowns away and adding those for kicks. So 23-16 is the score. Like I mentioned, Houston top 3 in turnovers. Pittsburgh struggling to finish drives. Final score, Texas 23, Steelers 16. All right, clip that. And final takeaway. The numbers, the models, the sports books, the analytics, they all point in one direction. The Texans are the better team. And they should win this football game. All right. That being said, to go back and answer Bogart's question, I do think that if they're leading the entire way, Texans will try to lean on Woody Marks to run the football. He's done a superb job of finishing games off, picking up tough yards and first downs that they need in order to extend drives and close the game off. So that, coupled with some clock management, shout out to clock, and some good coaching Hopefully they've learned to kind of close out these halves and end of games. I think the Houston Texans should take care of business on Sunday. All right, folks. I am still at work pushing this one off. I have a really busy weekend, so I just wanted to get that out to you. We did a quick 30-minute huddle. I appreciate everybody who's in the chat. Like I mentioned, make sure to like and subscribe to all the GWN channels, the neonpeacockmerch.com website. Make sure that you're checking out all the latest drops we have on that, and check out all of our live events for the live watch party. We will have something later on this evening, I believe, for the college football playoffs. So make sure that you go over there, hit the notification bell on the GWN network, and stay cool. I appreciate everybody, man. Love you all to death. Have a great, great weekend. Enjoy the football. And remember that you cannot spell peacock without peace.
It's special. We saw that practice. We practiced off this week, man. Them boys are tired. Let's keep it up this week, man. Texans!
Suck my dick and pay me, pay me, pay me. She don't call back like, damn. And my brother's always busy. That's why shorty fucking with me. She the only one that give me. Yeah. And I rode this here for 2. I just hop up in the whip. I hit up 6. She smoke it with me. Little bitch.